And welcome back, everyone. We're going to be going into the winners set here for Group K of the FX Open Invitational Series. I am Unstable, joined here by RailCube. We're going to have TSLHyuN up against World Elite WEloveCD. Cloud Kingdom will be map number 1, and of course, down here at this 6 o'clock position, well, not 6 o'clock, bottom left, is going to be our blue Protoss going for a Nexus first. Coming in here is going to be WEloveCD. And of course, up here at the top right, going pool first, is going to be TSLHyuN as our red Zerg, of course, with the pesky probe, is taking his natural down here at the 3rd position, and will take a pretty quick 3rd down at that natural, which is standard to what we see Hyun do in a lot of matchups these days.
The standard is what we're seeing a lot of Zerg players do in this matchup these days.
Yeah.
This is just very, very standard way of this matchup opening off. Just the way that the build orders have been meshing together, and we'll see what WeloveCD follows up with. Just because we saw he was very aggressive in the PvP matchups. That's been kind of the way that the Chinese have been playing PvP for a long time. When the Koreans and others were figuring out how to stop the 4 gates and stuff, then the Chinese just kept focusing in on the 3 gates and other really aggressive attacks. They really like attacking in that matchup. But I haven't really seen the Protoss versus Zerg from the Chinese in a while, so I'm not sure how closely this is going to mirror what we've been seeing the past weekends in this matchup.
Well, it's always good when you mix it up a little bit just to see how it goes there. Of course, we do see Hyun taking that third hatchery down here and starting with his queen production as well. He is known to be a very aggressive player at the same time, and a lot of players do get caught off guard by that. So it's this clash of styles that we see coming through. We do see, of course, WeloveCD is going to come in and scout the timings over here. He sees the creep, of course. But it's this clash of styles, and you see it a lot of the times when a lot of Korean players play against foreigners, is because they're so used to having to cut corners. Like, they have to cut corners to try and get ahead of their opponents. And then you see these players who just play very straight up down the line, and they catch them for it. And it happens quite a lot more often than the Koreans would care to admit. But it's their own fault for doing so at the same time. So
a lot of times it comes from, like, having to cut corners means that you're having to try to read your opponent. And when you're up against somebody that you have absolutely no experience from, trying to read them is very difficult. And sometimes they just do something that makes no sense. And it's like, but why would you do that? Well, it's because they're a foreigner. They have a slightly different metagame than the Koreans. They don't play the same way the Koreans do. And that can get them into trouble. But Hyun generally plays pretty solid in the early game. And if he does really fall apart, it's usually in the late game. It's not been happening as much recently. He's been getting better in the late game.
Yeah.
But if WeloveCD has done his research at all into this group, then he'll probably be thinking that, and maybe just be going straighter for the late game, even though he is a bit more of an aggressive player in general.
Yeah, that's very true. Both of them sitting back just for a little bit of here. We do see more gateways going down for WeloveCD in his main. +1 is about 60% of the way through. However, he's having a hard time getting his probes out here. They're constantly being picked off by Hyun. And without that forward probe, he can't really put any pressure on here. We do see the Roach Warren and the Evo Chamber come down in a very standard timing for Hyun as well. He's got 3 gas going straight to lair. And he really needs that lair to get any kind of roach speed to stop this attack that is going to be coming through. We are going to have a total of 8 gateways coming up here. We do not have Blink, so this is going to be a very regular 8-gate attack. Blink really does seal the deal in a lot of these attacks, but you have to invest heavily in it quite early to actually make it hit at the appropriate time. And here we go to see 1 Stalker and Zealot coming out here. We'll be able to force Hyun back as Link speed only just now started here, RailCube. So he's going to have this 1 pylon, but it has been... Oh, it's not spotted. Oh, that's very close.
There's another pylon starting up by the creep, another one going down to the 4th base. So he's going to have 2 pylons up here, possibly going to start a 3rd. And this very delayed Zergling speed is also a common thing that the Zerg players are doing to try and get an advantage early on, just to drone up really hard. And we'll see how this works out for him. He does have the roaches on the way, so it's not going to be as bad as it could be. And that's very Zealot heavy warp in from WeloveCD, so the large number of roaches could really help in fending this off.
Yeah, but it's going to be a little bit of time before they all start popping out though, remember, and they're going to be coming from different hatches as well. And like you were saying, WEloveCD put in a lot of roaches into this first wave. The second one's going to have sentries and stalkers, which is going to work out well. Is he going to be able to hold it off though here? We do have a lot of roaches. It's actually caught on the wrong side of the force fields here, so this is not good for WEloveCD. A lot of these roaches, the roach number getting quite high now. 12 Zerglings on the way as well. Lynxspeed's going to finish up shortly, but he's closed the distance now, taking on those sentries, not targeting them down immediately. However, pulling some drones as well. We got another pylon forward as well. Remember that the longer this goes on, the better position that HyuN is actually going to be in. He's lost a total of 16 workers, all the workers at this third base. But here come the speedling reinforcements, and now they're going to get surrounded on the stalkers without the blink. These are going to be crushed here, and this is exactly what WEloveCD did not need to have happen. Now he cannot put any more pressure on. He's going to be completely on the back foot. And looking at the worker counts, it's 45 to 43. And
yeah, and I mean, after this 8 gate, it's really difficult to transition out of. It's tough to throw down an expansion after this happens. So you're stuck on two bases for quite a while. He's going to have to try and do something else tech related. You can see he's warping and sentries back at home just to try and hold the counterattack, but I don't think he's going to be able to. HyuN is just sleeping across the map, and he should just roll over WEloveCD with the huge army that he's got right now. He can bust through this wall without really any issues. He's checking the third base. There isn't one there. Realizes that was a 2-base timing, and now all he really has to do is take these units and attack.
Sentries are at the front of this wall though here. I'm not really a fan of this coming out here from WEloveCD, because we do see the roaches attacking the rocks down at the bottom. He of course does see this happening, but there's also Zerglings on the that can come from behind if he tries to fight him on this ramp.
There's some roaches swinging around too. He's going to set up just a really nice 2-pronged attack. He's opening up the rocks just to widen the ramp, make him have to use more force fields, and here he comes.
Yeah, and this is going to be devastating to WEloveCD. No, I don't think even force fields can save him here. And here he comes. He gets a couple of good ones down, but then he's completely surrounded yet again. And the roach is coming from the right-hand side, targeting down sentries at the same time. The zealots are actually going into those force fields on the ramp, actually getting picked off by the roaches on the low ground as well. WEloveCD doing an okay job here so far. But the roach numbers are just way too much. He was 70 supply ahead. He still is 70 supply ahead here for HyuN, and it looks like it is going to be it. He's completely decimating this entire army. And as we were saying, it's just too difficult to transition out of that attack.
Yeah, we should be seeing a GG any moment now. It's like he's just completely being rolled in.
Yeah. There it is, GG coming out, and HyuN will take game number 1 in this winners match. That puts HyuN 1 map away from the round of 32. Lil will be right back and see if he can make it through 2-0. Stay with us.